weather seems cooler today, but a bit more humid too for whatever reason. And what did I read today? How about this one? Apparently there was a new drone launch by Autel called the Evo Lite Enterprise. So what's the big deal with this? Usually for these types of enterprise drones, you'd have to get something that's more medium or large size just because they have so many things like thermal cameras and all that. Whereas this one, I guess they're showcasing how it's pretty small. It actually has a similar size to the Evo Lite. And it says here, Evo Lite Enterprise series by Autel Robotics is characterized by its lightweight and compact design, making it remarkably portable. The A-Mesh networking capability supports collaborative dual drone, dual control operations. Equipped with high-precision visual navigation capabilities, it supports stable flight even in environments with poor signal through SLAM technology. The Evo Lite 640T Enterprise Edition features a dual gimbal system with a visible light camera providing a clear and detailed images, while the thermal imaging camera aids in decision-making during operations. The Evo Lite 6K Enterprise Edition is equipped with a 1-inch CMOS visible light camera offering outstanding sensitivity for excellent image quality. With the intelligent features of the professional flight app, it enables flexible single-person deployment and efficient application in scenarios such as public safety and emergency rescue. So of course this isn't meant for consumer use, for example. And again, it seems like they really focus on the weight itself, saying here in terms of the actual weight, it's 866 grams overall. And as they say, you can get one with the thermal camera. The specs for that, according to this anyways, it says it's 640 by 512, 9.1 millimeter focal length, 16x digital zoom. So again, it seems like the main pitch is the size of this, which could actually be really helpful, where in many cases when you have drones with these types of hardware, you often see people carry around huge boxes, for example, whereas this, I could imagine, you could literally just have it with you all the time, kind of like a recreational flyer, for example. Just carry a small drone with you and hey, I want to get like the views, for example, I'll just throw this up. I can imagine people easily doing it with this anyways. But at the same time, with this launch, it makes me wonder if a lot of companies, for example, the Chinese ones specifically, like DJI and now Autel, whether or not they're pushing out these drones because of those laws that may come out in the US that ban, for example, Chinese-made drones, which makes you think too, if you're in the market for a drone like this, would you actually hold off or would you go for it? And when I thought of drones in China, they're actually going full-fledged, it seems like, because according to this, it says here, dedicated drone area added for first time to Airshow China. Just to show you how serious they are, because most people anyways, they do use Chinese-made drones. It says China's largest aviation and aerospace exhibition will for the first time add a dedicated area for unmanned systems amidst fast development and military applications of drones, with experts saying on Monday that China's drone technologies and industrial capabilities have reached a very high level. The 15th China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition, scheduled to be held from November 12th to 17th in Zhuhai, South China's Guangdong province, held a 100-day countdown ceremony on Sunday as preparations entered their final stage. The expo will for the first time add an unmanned system demonstration area consisting of an area for unmanned surface vessels and an area for unmanned aerial vehicles. The new addition to Airshow China indicates how much China values drone technologies, Wang said. It also shows that China has reached a very high level in terms of drone technologies and industrial capabilities, or there will not be many items to display on such a big show, he said. Well, again, they are the leader in terms of consumer drones and so forth anyways, and it makes you wonder, will anyone be able to catch up, because they're clearly ahead of the game, especially here. It seems like they want to maintain that lead too. And this was big news today. Apparently Google in the US has been, I guess, convicted, if that's what you want to say, in court of being a monopoly when it comes to its search. This one says, US judge rules Google has monopoly on search in DOJ lawsuit. Alphabet's Google broke the law with its monopoly over online searches and related ads, a federal judge ruled on Monday in the first victory for US antitrust authorities who have filed a string of lawsuits to battle market domination by a handful of big tech companies. The decision is a significant win for the Justice Department, which had sued the search engine giant over its control of about 90% of the online search market and 95% on smartphones. U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta noted that Google had paid $26.3 billion in 2021 alone to ensure that its search engine is the default on smartphones and browsers and to keep its dominant market share. The court reaches the following conclusion: Google is a monopolist and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. Meta wrote, "It's interesting to think about too, because for a lot of people, when you buy a smartphone and so forth, you just assume the manufacturer puts things like, for example, Google search as a default because they assume, hey, it's the most popular search engine, that's what people use." Most people don't think about, I guess, this behind the scenes stuff in terms of paying money for companies to do that. It says, Meta's ruling against Alphabet's major revenue driver paves the way for a second trial to determine potential fixes, such as requiring the company to stop paying smartphone makers billions of dollars annually to set Google as the default search engine on new phones. The default is extremely valuable real estate. Even if a new entrant were positioned from a quality standpoint to bid for the default when an agreement expires, such a firm could compete only if it were prepared to pay partners upwards of billions of dollars in revenue share and make them whole for any revenue shortfalls resulting from the change. He noted, Google, of course, recognizes that losing defaults would dramatically impact its bottom line. For instance, Google has projected that losing the Safari default will result in a significant drop in queries and billions of dollars in lost revenue. The ruling is the first major decision in a series of cases taking on alleged monopolies in big tech. Will the changes, for example, just be they're not allowed to pay people to have their searches display as a default, or will they force them to break up in some ways too? It'd be kind of interesting again just to see what happens. But in terms of things like, I guess, business dominance and all that, there was so much news today about the stock market crashing. I mean, take a look at this in terms of all these charts and so forth. Apparently, there was $1.9 trillion wiped out just like that. Now, what could be the reason for this? Apparently, it's due to fear of a potential World War III, I guess, coming about. And you can see, for example, there are some companies that specialize in weapons and so forth. Like here, Lockheed Martin Corporation, you can see their stock just shot up. So that's not a good sign in that regards, huh? There are some people saying, this is nothing, this is just typical, for example, stocks going up and down. I don't know if that's typical when you have all these huge companies having their value plummet just like that, huh? What would you think here? Would you be concerned if you were an investor? Would you start pulling out all your money expecting some kind of war per se? Or again, do you think this is just a normal day in terms of business and stock trading?
Alright, see you guys later.